Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Portugal Railway Summit 2021. This is the second day of this summit, and we'll have for the morning two special panels. It will be the international clusters as well as the future of railways. So just some details about the last day. We thank you very much for the 1,600 people who has registered for this event. This is an honor to us. Thank you for being there. Concerning also the event itself, I believe you are on the platform of the event. If you have any questions to put to this panel, please do it on the agenda looking for the panel international clusters. There you have a Q&A where you can put your questions that the moderator will have access and will be gladly put it to the speakers if it is possible. So once again, thank you very much for our sponsors, all of them, because if they were not here, it would not be possible to have this event. So let's start having a good day. Enjoy yourself with us. So now I present to you the moderator for this session. That will be Engineer João Rebelo, who will be presenting the hosts for this panel. Thank you very much once again.
Thanks, Paulo. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this second day of the Portuguese Railway Summit, and I do expect it to be as interesting as it was yesterday's session. You are assisting to the Forum International Cluster, and I do invite you to ask questions. Please do not wait to the end of the session, as Paulo told you. You may write them, they will be answered after the presentations. We just ended a year that will remain in our memories for all our life. And yet, in the future, it is precisely this year that will show us how to appreciate our daily lives. More situations that perhaps we gave little value because they were so obvious. Without a doubt, this year has also shown us how resilient we can be as a sector, as companies, and as individuals. In our organizations, there will be a before and after 2020. The pandemic has forced us to restructure the way we work, the way we define our strategies, the way we make our operations, the business model of our companies. With our decisions, our projects, and the systems we operate, we, our staff, and our stakeholders are those who translate the purpose of public transport into intangible benefits for the city, its citizens, and business community. Public transport is not just a commodity, not just a way of moving. Those who work for and for public transport contribute for the well-being of people, to social inclusion, to the economic development of cities, and to a better and responsible quality of life. Moreover, thanks to the progressive vaccination program, we are starting the year of 2021 feeling a lot more hopeful about being able to control this pandemic. We are more optimistic about returning to a normal life, or a better normality. But this situation is offering us new opportunities, and the question is, are we ready to take them? To explain how 5 different important clusters are prepared to face these challenges, I have with me highly recognized experts from different countries. Dirk Ulrich Kruger from ERCI, European Railway Cluster Initiative, Angela Stauler from the Spanish Railways Technology Platform, Veronica Bocci from Detector, Italy, Iñaki Gomez Belinjon from the Rail Group, and Alexander Burrows from Rail Alliance UK. So I think we are ready to start now, and we'll start with a presentation from Dirk Ulrich Kruger. Dirk, the floor, or better, the camera is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a pleasure to be here at the Railway Summit, the Portugal Railway Summit 2021, even though it is a pure online event. It connects us throughout Europe. My name is Dirk Kruger, and I am the spokesperson of the ERCI, the European Railway Clusters Initiative. This is just a office of honor. In my usual life, daily life, I am the cluster manager of the Rail.S cluster, that is located in Germany. So I have my office in the city of Dresden, and we represent the area of Southeast Germany and the railway cluster there. As you can see from that slide, the ERCI is an umbrella organization. It's a club of 15 railway clusters in Europe, a growing club, and we're optimistic that we also will reach connections or intensify our connections with PFP, with Portugal, even more in this year. So we are at the moment a club of 15 railway clusters that cover 17 countries. The numbers do not total, as you see, because we have 3 clusters from Germany, 2 from Spain aboard, and on the other hand, we have our colleagues that are located in Belgrade and Serbia that cover all countries that formed in later in former days Yugoslavia. So this is how we consist on that map. On your right hand side, you can also see the geographical outreach that mainly consists of our membership in that clusters that are usually SME companies and research organizations and universities. So with our network, we reach more than 2,000 companies in Europe, and additionally universities, technology centers, R&D organizations. So quite a big club, and this is what has grown over 10 years, as you can see from our logo. So we were actually formed at Innotrans in the year 2010 with 5 clusters at that time. So what is this all about, and why do we need ERCI? It's all about bringing customers, suppliers, and supply chain opportunities together. So that is what we had in mind when we founded the ERCI 10 years ago. And that is what our mission is today, providing added value out of that European club to the single member company, to the single member institution in every cluster in Europe or in the states that we cover. So this is our job, and this is what our members should derive from being in that ERCI. And we try to deliver this to a number of different offerings, different measures, and I give you some examples on that throughout the presentations. We have in the past been very successful, ever increasingly successful in doing partner matchmaking in Shift2Rail. In the rounds of the Shift2Rail calls, we supported more than 13 consortia, and many of them were successful in actually winning the calls. And as the Shift2Rail took up speed, so did we. And today we have a very strong database of companies that took part in Shift2Rail projects, and also institutions that lead or led proposals and projects in Shift2Rail. So we're well prepared to deliver that service to our members, also in the next and upcoming rounds of Europe's Rail, as the successor is now called. We provide individual support for SME companies, mainly through matchmaking activities, through an innovation award that I'm going to show you, and a number of projects that we offer. We have created ERCI task forces on innovation topics that cover rail, that are new to rail, that are important to rail, such as the cyber security task force and a task force on multimodal logistics. Over the 10 years, there have been countless bilateral activities or trilateral activities between our different member clusters. For instance, Rail as the cluster I lead took number of or had a number of successful workshops with our Polish friends in our neighboring cluster, or inside of Germany. we do many small events. So that is what's happening in the club and what provides value to our members. Sorry, I was a bit too quick. Our ERCI Innovation Award has been around for a number of years now, and is getting more and more attention in the railway community in Europe. This works a little bit like the Eurovision Song Contest, if you like. So we have what we have in every national cluster, we have a local competition where we try to select up to 3 very good innovative ideas, product solutions that we then delegate to the European level. And the hosting of the award rotates from year to year among our clusters, and usually we award the ERCI prize, the innovation prize, at one trade show in Europe in autumn. This or last year, and this of course took place online, as we were not allowed to travel, and there was no InnoTrans taking place where it was scheduled to be. But still, we had a round of innovation awards with very good winners. So we have 3 categories: Best Large Enterprise, Best Small Medium-Sized Enterprise, and the Coup de Cœur Award. And as you can see here, the winners are going broadly through all segments of rail, and with very impressive and very sophisticated technological solutions. The whole thing is meant to give our member companies, especially the SME companies, a platform for their products, for their solutions, and give them the awareness in the industry that they deserve for their solution. Through the COVID-19 pandemic, we established, of course, also digital formats, and as many of us, we experienced a push to those formats, and quite successfully, we've placed a webinar series that we have now further developed to a continuous series. So we try to offer 2 webinars at least per month. And you can see here the next scheduled dates. So it's a fantastic opportunity just to tune in for 1.5 hours, get new impressions and new innovation ideas on a very specific topic. Or on the other hand, it's a very good opportunity for companies to use the platform and reach out to the European railway community through our network. If you have ideas, if you have things to show, you can always reach us, and you can always also sign in for the webinars, of course, through our website, eurailclusters.com. I'd like to also draw your attention to a measure that we introduced this year. As there was no InnoTrans, there was a virtual InnoTrans, and the InnoTrans business days that are still ongoing as sort of a continuous matchmaking event, where we try to pilot also the resonance in Europe for a continuous virtual matchmaking format. And so we partnered up with the Enterprise Europe Network to launch that platform that is still live and still ongoing. So if you're looking for new ways to actually develop your business in a virtual perspective, this might be a good opportunity to use it. Just to sign in, it's free, and look for your partners, for new partners, for new meetings. You can arrange individual virtual online meetings, and you can also attend workshops and other events there. In delivering our mission to our member companies and member institutions, we have also tried to leverage on the on EU projects and EU funding. So we created, under the lead of our partner cluster, DTEC Fair, in 2018-19, a project called Paris, a so-called European Strategic Cluster Partnership for International, where we tried to find ways to actually open markets outside the European Union for our member companies. That included research and strategy, but it also included a pilot trip to the United States and a fact-finding tour, as you can see from some impressions here. And as it proves, taking such an initiative under the European umbrella helps us to share costs and get a critical mass of companies from different European countries to that activities. Another project that is ongoing is rail activation under the lead of our member cluster MAFEX from Spain, that deals with delivering innovation management tools to SMEs in Europe through a series of workshops and usually physical meetings, but these days, of course, virtual meetings. And finally, we are very proud that the ERCI has been selected as one of the first European strategic cluster partnerships for excellence. This is a tool where the European, or through what the European Commission tries to establish or speed up the process of establishing meta clusters in Europe as a response to increased global competitions in core industries. So in Extra, we try to exchange our experience and build up better management structures, but also structures between different players in our ecosystems, so that we actually create somewhat of a big European railway cluster. And as you can see here, there are more other cluster partnerships in Europe in other industries, and we cover railway and multimodality. So one of the mega challenges of the new century, mobility, green mobility, and clever and smart systems. And this is also that brings me back to to the initial slide and to the end of my short speech here. This is what it is about. ERCI will be the meta cluster, or is the meta cluster for the railway industry in Europe, and this is what we're trying to build, and what we have built in the next 10 years, and where we're trying to get even better in the coming decade. So thank you very much. I'm very happy to see that we have 3 of our members then giving you some more details on what they do on the national level, and how this then connects back to the European level. But what we definitely need is a stronger and improved connecting in Europe to shape a bigger and better organizations to be able to compete on a global level. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer them.
Thank you, Dirk. Very interesting. Indeed, it is also interesting to see that not only you, but also some of your partners are also presented in this session. And it means that there is a benchmarking, there is synergy between all the clusters, and this is very good, because we are not working alone. We are working for the interconnectivity of knowledge, and this is very important. I'm afraid that we are in conflict with your webinar for today, because it is exactly the same time, I think. But I noticed that there are 3 more webinars for the 2 in February and 1 on the beginning of March. So maybe those that want to join, I'm sure that they will be welcome.
Yeah, but you can see, thankfully, we are a big club, and so we even have the opportunity and the possibility to be at two places at the same time as a ERCI. So that is one of the benefits of being such a powerful meta cluster organization.
Yes, it is. And it is one good thing of this internet meetings, because you can be in Portugal now, and the next hour you can be somewhere else in the planet. Okay, thank
Absolutely.
you very much. We'll pass to the second speaker. It will be Ángeles Tauler from the Spanish Railway Technology Platform. Ángeles, we are listening to you.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to meet you at Portugal Railway Summit 2021. First of all, I want to thank the organization for his invitation. And I also want to congratulate them for the organizing and the success of participation. Thanks, PFP. We hope that our collaboration already established years ago and will be more active, and both platforms work together. It's sure, Paulo. And in my presentation, I will try to bring you closer to the vision and activities developed by the PTF. Next, please. Go, please. Well, who is the Spanish technological platform? The PTF is an industry tool, of course, at the service of the railway sector, created in 2005 and supported by the Ministry of Research and Innovation. The PTF defines the long-term vision and the strategic research agenda of the railway sector, which is in constantly being updated. The PTF mission is to align the strategies of the various agents, concentrate R&D and innovation effort, and to reduce the fragmentation in research fields in order to promote scientific and technological progress to ensure competitiveness, sustainability, and growth of the Spanish railway. The Technical Secretariat is performed by the Spanish Railway Foundation. You have a little information about Spanish Railway Foundation because it's another key entity in the Spanish railway. Next, please. Go, please. Well, for the Spanish Railway Foundation is important what is the global framework. We have a national scope and with the political agenda in terms of R&D, and we have two key documents. The Spanish strategy about R&D from the Ministry of R&D, and also is very important the strategy of mobility from the Ministry of Transport, Mobility and Urban Agenda. This is the framework necessary for to develop all the effort about national research in railways. But this agenda, this political, is with alignment with the political, European political, and or of course of Horizon Europe program. This is the framework, but what is the more in entities we work with the research? We have, of course, the minister, but it's important also the national research agenda. For example, the PTF work together with the national research agenda. Also, we have another entity important in Spain for to push the research is, and the innovation is the CEDETI. CEDETI is similar organization in Portugal. You have ENI is agency similar, and to push into company, into industry to develop the research and innovation. Go please to next slide. Well, yesterday, Mr. Borghini and the representative from the DG Move speak about this topic. Is the framework international for to develop the innovation. Well, the future is Horizon Europe 21-27. All the railway sector put into cluster 5 is the climate, energy, and mobility. Inside, of course, is the railway, all the innovation. But we think it's important remark to put the vision into civil security and digital industry, because it's another topic where the railway have a very good position. Also, in this moment, the other program, the Green Deal, is another reference for to push the innovation in railway. Next, please. And my colleague from the RC explained the importance from Sea2Rail. We are very proud because in the first call, Sea2Rail 1, Spain have a very good results. We crossing the fingers for the next Europe's rail joint undertaking. We have the same success. Yesterday, Mr. Borghini explained all the new organization, and we attain the same results. Remark to date is important when to start the program into third quarter. Next, please. Mr. Citroën yesterday put the remark about the importance to participate in Iraq. The PTF is very active in the railway platform in Europe, and it's important all the company and organization to participate to develop the rail strategic research and innovation agenda. This document is key element considering European research priority and the definition within the framework program and the continuity Sea2Rail. The PTF work very hard with UNIFE, UITP, UICE, with different, and we think it's good to participate in this entity. Next, please. Well, we entry a little for to organization about the PTF. We have 49 entity. Is the ecosystem into railway for innovation in Spain. Of course, the leader is the company, the industry. The 69% is inside the PTF. It's important also the vision, the public railway, and we have railway operator and administrator company we have the 4%, and also the academia we have 9% the university, also the research center, and also it's important have together other association and other, for example, my colleague from Rail Group, but also inside is MAFEX. We have the Innovation Hub, and we think all is very interesting, all push for the innovation into Spanish railway. Next, please. Well, how the PDF is organized. We have 4 transversal working group, 8 thematic working group, but we need to push very quickly because the innovation is is changed, and we need to build innovation vector, because what's similar to task force. And the innovation vector, the vision in PDF is the trends be aware of in order to know the evolution of R&D and our sector. We need to develop another topic for to push the sector. Next, please. Well, this is one example about, I explained about, for example, the agenda. We have one evolution. We start in 2005, and we have different documents. We design what is the sector, the agenda, and technological and research priorities. But also is important about the vector, and to develop a different position paper about a topic, relevant topic. And they have, for example, important call. In this moment, all people in Spain speak about hydrogen. Well, we need one response. And for example, do you have available in the website for PDF different document in Spain in English, and it's possible to show what is the vision about Spanish railways. Also, it's important in the PDF to disseminate the capacity of the sector. And we have two documents, is a reference, and we identify who is who into research and innovation in Spain. As well, it's important also as the scientific infrastructure for testing. Next, please. This is another example for another activity from the PDF, is the permanent technological surveillance. With the different call, they have a very important production in projects. Well, we prepared this document for the all the sector, continue the vision about the different project, and next, we put inside in database from the PDF. What all is available for is open, because to participate in the PDF is free, is open, because we support the minister. Next, please. Another working important intervention of the PDF is working on transversality. Also, the European Commission is a guidelines for development. In this line, it's important is one example to advance materials for railway fleets. It's come from the collaboration between PDF and Matterplat. Matterplat is nano materials and advanced material platform. And in this document, its main goal is the both transfer of research, knowledge, and technology on materials to railways. We think that you invite to show this document is is available in the website. Is in English also. It is a document constantly update document is and you is easy accessibility. Also, it's important for this transversality to develop agreement and collaboration with another Hispanic technological platform. For example, we have agreement with the PT materials, building, aeronautics, hydrogen, road, energy, automotive components. And also, of course, we have agreement with another international platform, for example, with Czech Railway Technological Platform, Portuguese Technological Platform. Next, please. Well, this is a project we think is into philosophy about PDF, and the Spanish Railway Foundation participate as in this project. put a remark to promote transversality. Therefore, rail project is a sector-rail coordination support action, and the aim is to explore to several activity and cross-sectional ability within or out of the railway field that may be a result of interest to rail. The Spanish Railway Foundation, just the role is to develop the leader into Work Package 1. And inside we have to Rail Innovative Research Observatory. I think it's very interesting to analyze the different deliverables in this project, because we have the aim is to promote dialogue and collaboration and cross-sectional ability between the railway and another field. Thank you. Next, please. Well, this is my colleague from RC explained more or less activity. We promoting the development of projects, the PDF supporting the development of consortium, driving innovate market, partnership working, networking, support key stakeholder, public and private. For us to support, for example, the Renfe, Adif, the big company in railway is very important to push the innovation. Also incubation of innovative market proposal, development and revision of strategic area and innovation vector, organizing technological forum, workshop, and of course to support the working groups. Next, please. This is the activity from the technical secretariat, meetings, representation, provision of letter of support and interest is an important activity, collaboration agreement, dissemination of national and international call for proposal. We help the company, we help the university, we help the research center, surveys for the monitoring of indicators of the railway sector, treatment of the information, analysis and evaluation. The database is very important and many activities. Next, please. And next, please. Well, for finish, I think it's important to push this activity, this initiative European, is the European Railway Year 2021. We think is a very good opportunity to push the innovation and to competitive from the Spanish railway and to European railway. The goal is to promote that the railway is a sustainable, innovative and safe mode of transport. We develop in this moment a very interesting program. MITMA, the Minister of Transport, Mobility and Urban Agenda, is the leader and in this task force. And with the guidelines of MITMA, the Spanish Railway Foundation will coordinate the program with the collaboration of key agents and the railway sector. I think it's a very good opportunity for collaborate with another country. This event, this forum, this summit with the PFP is one example. We need sure the PFP in the Spanish program. And thank you very much for your attention. You are at your disposal or you answer. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Angeles. It was a very interesting presentation. It was impressed how active you are, shaping the present, defining the strategy for the future, and you are. Spain is our neighbor. So I'm sure that this opens stronger possibilities of cooperation. So I think that we'll be looking for that. Thank you very much, Angeles.
Thank you very much, Mr. Robelo. Thank you very much.
We'll go on with our presentations. Now we move to Italy, to Veronica. Veronica is a detective director, and I think that she will also explain how they work and what they are doing in their cluster. Thank you very much, Veronica. The floor is yours.
I'm Veronica Elena Bocci. Of course, I'm the coordinator of DTECFER. And as I was saying, I will try to use this keyword, the collaboration. I chose this among a set of keywords that, in my opinion, have represented last year and our joint effort also as European clusters, because we have learned even more how collaboration among ourselves has been key to address also problems concerning resilience of our value chains, the need for recovery, how to embrace the Green Deal, the twin transition, how to support SMEs, how to solve the problems related to disruptions in the supply chains, and so on. And at the end, the collaboration is the word that has made DTECFER, being from the regional cluster of Tuscany region, to be the Italian leading cluster in the railway sector. And I decided, because this event is an event under the Portuguese presidency of the European Union, I decided to reuse, allow me that, to reuse some slides that I presented at the last European Cluster Conference, where I was invited by the European Commission to be the speaker representing clusters in the European industrial ecosystem, mobility and transport. And my storytelling that day and today is about the impact, okay? The impact that we are trying to create, and it is about creating economic and social value. So, because of course we have started as a cluster to work on growing business and growing innovation for our members. But at the end, we have to look at the effects of all these activities. And at the end, working in a sector that has to do with the trains and high technological systems, but it's all about moving people and improving the quality of life of people having to move. So we are creating social value. And I will follow, according to this storytelling, I will tell you that no matter the activity that we deliver as DTECFER cluster, we are doing that, and we are scaling the quality and the contents of our activities through collaboration under European funded projects, no matter the sector. So if we work in the innovation, research and innovation sector, I take the example of the ERCI Task Force on Cybersecurity. It has been for us a great booster that empowered us to know better the topic, the challenges behind it, to understand that also SMEs are not only the large companies and the big operators can do something in the cybersecurity sector to provide new ideas and new solutions. And on that, we have built a series of innovation projects at European level. The same is about for internationalization, because since the very beginning, we have organized participation at railway exhibitions throughout the world for our members. But this is normal. I mean, all of us is doing that. What has changed? It has changed, like Mr. Kruger said, that through another European project, we have improved the way we deliver internationalization support to our members. And we have learned this once again through collaboration with other European clusters. And since we are working on innovation, we have been aware that innovation is not, I mean, if you really want to untap all your potential, you firstly have to change the mindset of your members. I mean, not all of them, but most of them, in the majority, it's about SMEs. They need first to change their mindset. They have to embrace more an open innovation approach to exploit the full potential of their ideas and of the opportunities that are outside their doors. And we have worked on this also, once again, through a European project. And once again, it's, as Mr. Kruger said, about the extra project. At the end, to deliver all this in order to impact, to change things, change things in the sector and in your ecosystem, you have to do that at the most perfect possible way. Okay, you have to be excellent, and that's why we have one more European project that is helping through sharing of best practices and creating new ideas. We are widening the offer of services and activities for our members. And now I want you to say just, one experience. 1.5 years ago, I attended a cluster of change bootcamp. It was a bootcamp of 4 days for persons like us, cluster managers. And it was about understanding for our use case, how to increase the impact, okay, our impact as cluster. And of course, as clusters, we know that collaboration is the key driver and the key enabler. But we understood that it is not just, collaboration for internal purposes, because you want your members to collaborate more among themselves. But in order to, if you really want to scale, to grow at pace and scale, you have to collaborate more with other clusters. And it was very funny, I would like to say, to understand this through gamification, because at the end of 4 days, we took our time in front of a beer and playing like a Monopoly game, but built around the strategy to become super clusters. We understood that at the end, when you really want to grow, when you really want to be a leader, you have to create a series of collaborations with other organizations, okay? So none of them is a competitor, all of them are enablers. And that's why we are here all together today, because being connected with other European railway clusters has been the gold solution for DTECFER to grow. Today, we are happy to say that we have the ERCI network that is helping us to invent new ideas and new solutions for our members. And we have the MOU signed with PFP since more than 1 year. And I want to know that both these opportunities, both these initiatives are not just on paper. They have delivered actual results. And this is very important for us. And talking about collaboration and opportunities, I just wanted to invite all the participants today to enjoy, to exploit the opportunity that we are offering to SMEs, education bodies, and the like operating in the railway sector, because we are offering under the extra project the so-called cluster exchange scheme. It is a kind of Erasmus-like, okay, but shorter than the usual Erasmus. It's the opportunity to spend from 3 to 30 days at the premises of another European organization to learn from it, okay? So just as an example, you could choose as a Portuguese SME to spend some days at the Spanish technological platform, to learn more about how, I don't know, how they are innovating a specific topic for the railway sector. Or you can spend some days at the University of Birmingham to know how they are solving other challenges and the like. It's a free, not only a free opportunity, but for the real physical exchanges, we are giving you some money to cover your expenses. So to know more about this opportunity, you can jump on and follow our Twitter and see on our website. And to conclude, my final message is that DTECFER has been creating a new way of being a cluster. And this new way is strongly based on continuous collaboration and sharing with the other European railway clusters. This was our recipe for becoming the leading railway cluster in Italy. And we use EU projects not just, let me say, to fund some human effort inside our organization. EU funding for us are really tools to improve the way we work and the way we impact creating and delivering new innovative services. This is how we are contributing to make the Europe's rail even more innovative and competitive on the longer term. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Veronica. Very, very interesting. Thank you for telling us such a successful story. So, telling story that you mentioned, it is indeed, and I congratulate you for picking up the right word, collaboration. I think it's perfect for this.
My pleasure.
For this forum also. So we are a little late, so I will ask Ignazi and Alexander to try to either to reduce a little your presentation, or at least to not to take it too long. And now we go immediately to Ignazi Gomes Belinjon from the Rail Group.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much all the attendants and for Portuguese Ferroviaria platform to organize this summit. It is very interesting. Also, just to add, and as Mr. Rebello mentioned, we are short of time. I will try to summarize my presentation. We have been talking a lot about ERCI, about the need of having common platforms at a state level, as Angels mentioned, and also the need of combining efforts in terms of cooperation. I will base my presentation giving you some data on our cluster, but also my point is to emphasize in the need of a strategy, a common strategy. If we are related as rail group cluster, as rail-based mobility and multimodal logistics, I think a seamless operation across Europe is much more needed than ever. So this is going to be my point. Next, please. Right, this is just a screen to try to infographically to show you the complexity of today's mobility. It's not just to be centered on trains. From our point of view, we need to be centered onto livability. It's the thing that is going to force us to do things. So mobility is derived from that. It's not the main issue. So livability is our focus, and it's very complex. And complexity means innovation opportunities. The dynamics is going to change. Next. Our model, a return on value model, of course, is based upon this strategy, is adapted for every member, is based on the capabilities and interests, and it's tailored fine-tuning meetings and many more. And of course, based upon knowledge, cooperation, technological innovation, and a sectoral vision. Next. We are the largest cluster in Spain up to date. We were founded in 2002. And in this third strategical step, we have been focusing towards these new scenarios, as I mentioned. I invite you all to scroll up and down and left to right in our web, and you will see some of the activities we promote. We have a specific return on value based upon knowledge management, insights, projects, and internationalization. And a specific focus, well, you can see our members. Next. And we define ourselves as an open innovation community, open innovation brokers. That is, we promote the cluster connectivity, as Veronica mentioned, is crucial. Of course, we try to be relevant scopes in different issues that are related to this complexity in terms of mobility. Of course, we deal with the new terms of governance of management and focusing into monitoring, fine-tuning, and evolution of the different projects that we promote. Next. Founder members of ERCI, Dirk has been talking on ERCI, but 2,000 SMEs reached, I think is quite remarkable if we want to be cooperating along Europe, south to north, welcoming Portugal on board whenever possible, of course, and up to Denmark. Yeah, let me give you some words on the new scenarios. This is from ERAC. I mean, it's from the European Rail Research Advisory Council. I do recommend very much, and Plataforma Ferroviaria Española has done a lot of good work in deploying this strategy, but this is extremely important. This is ERAC 2030 strategy. I recommend to read it. Railway, the backbone of mobility in 2030. It means that it's not just a matter of digitalization, also to focus on digital mobility. This is very different. Of course, we need to assure a very sound digitalization of the railway operation, and also it will, as I mentioned, focus towards new governance, cross-sectoral cooperation, upwelling of opportunities in health, in cybersecurity, in big data, and many more. I do recommend this document that, as I mentioned, PTFE just launched and deployed and promoted past year. And up to date has been an update of this document. We do emphasize in door-to-door mobility. It's not just railway. It's mobility as a consequence of livability. This is very important. And next, please, it forces us to focus onto digitalization and automation. That means connectivity at all levels. It also matters to be able to become smart infrastructures dealers. It's not just a matter of putting rails and put trains over it. The importance is to help this smart infrastructure, by means of this smart infrastructure, help the operators to concentrate onto the digital client. This is the strategy. Next, and many more. But do not forget that if we are going to proceed towards sustainability in territories, rail is 9 times less CO2 produces than the rest of modes, and we need to use it. So sustainability of territories as enhancer and shift to rail is the correct answer by means of using that, right? Next. 20 times safer. We need to promote that, but also on security. It's not just safety. So then our proposal for the next year, based upon these documents and many others, is to concentrate on livability, to concentrate on new business models and the user profile segmentation of the clients. The liberalization of the markets is going to take a lot of efforts to, the current operators to adapt, but also going to pop up much more opportunities and much more complex. And of course, technological cooperation is a must for the next scenarios. Some projects as examples. So then as open innovation brokers, I thought that maybe to show you some of our projects, we are dealing with roughly 200 project opportunities per year. Roughly 10% per year are finalists, depending on the ability of goals. Of course, we have been promoting shift to rail, and some of our members, due to ERCI, we have the success rate very high on that. And 5% roughly of the projects along the year are winners. So it's not bad. In terms of international BIDs, we have a 2% success rate on these BID internationals. But let me sorry, a little bit scroll back. Yes, this was the very first time that we talk about smart mobility. We talked to that with Angels in their offices in Madrid 9 years ago, Angeles, 9 years ago. It was the first project in Spain to talk about the user of the future. And one of the members in this project was Mr. Felix Martin. Felix Martin is currently the director of the Renfe Hablo, the low-cost, high-speed train in Spain. So I think this is important. The very first project in Spain with the support of the Plataforma dealing with the user of the future. Okay, next. Many more, but also the first parks and ride in Catalonia. If we need to be door to door, we need to deal with this intermodality in terms of passengers. So the very first 5 in Catalonia. Also in terms of very innovative platforms for rolling stock traceability from our members, and now in concept for Alstom, and also shortlisted for Singapore Land Transport Authority and the operators there, SBS, SMR, RT, and more. Next, please. Oops, I was frozen.
You're okay. You're on.
It's frozen.
DICTAP, rolling stock traceability platform.
Yes, next, please. All right, yes. Also, we have been dealing with the first BIM project that has been awarded for intermodal. It was the building of multimodal platforms and terminals in Spain. Next. And also, as for instance, the smart infrastructure for prediction of critical failure modes, starting 6 years ago by using ultrasonic devices to kick the rail and then analyze the signal back. And then from this beginning to the IoT wireless monitoring in the rail industry for network A, for instance, interpreting the results or being able to determine the profile of the wheel up to 80 kilometers per hour and with a precision of 0.05 millimeters. So it's condition-based maintenance, the issue. Next. Well, also in healthy rail projects, we have been the very first to cross with health and rail, and up to now we apply this project. Next, please, Paolo. In I think very interesting project that has been awarded that is called Anomaly. Anomaly means to detect anomalies in terms of behavior, so that is security, and also in terms of digital anomalies. And the first application, the first applying is going to be in preventing from behavioral violence and suicides for a metropolitan operator in Catalonia. Dealing with universal accessibility for the metropolitan area with blind people, and also ODS. In ODS, we are dealing with Altran, the consultant pharmacy, and also scoping the impact for the Land Transport Authority in Barcelona. Next. I don't want to bother you, but 200 per year is a lot. Eco-innovation. I think this could be one of the words of the future. We have been producing 3 reports on that end, and also now we have leading a new work team, and eco-design is going to be one of the words. Next. Recently awarded the entrance project from the European Union, and the scope is accelerating the market access and scale up of first of a kind zero emission sustainable transport solutions. Multimodal logistics. Also, another project that is the logistics hotel, multimodal logistics hotel, that is dealing with the very different services in logistic terms, and from the last mile to the feeding of this mile. Also producing reports for the Mobile World Capital and the Collider in terms of the challenges for mobility. It was past year, and of course, I'm finishing by means of extra project that is for me is very important to read about the excellence, exchange, and teaming up between railway clusters and ecosystems. For me, this could be our conclusion. This is going to be a must for Europe. And of course, I'm sure by means of cooperation, we are going to do it. So thank you very much. And at your disposal for answering questions.
Thank you very much, Ignazi. Thank you for effort on compacting such a rich presentation. I'm not sure if we managed to reduce to the time, but anyway, the next task will be from Alexander Barros from the Rail Alliance. Alexander, the floor is yours, and I really expect from you that to keep the time, because Paulo Duarte will never invite me anymore to be a moderator because I was terrible with managing the time. But your contribution are so rich that it is difficult for me to cut your time. Alexander, the word is yours.
No problem. Thank you very much. I hope you can see my slides.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. I'll try and rattle through this as quickly as possible. My name's Alex Burrows. I lead the Rail Alliance here in the UK. We're obviously absolutely delighted to be working as part of the European Rail Clusters Initiative with our partners from all across Europe. And as you might imagine, that's quite a key statement for us, given our geographical location. So very quickly, the Rail Alliance is the UK's rail cluster. We've changed our business model after we were integrated, or the Rail Alliance was brought into the University of Birmingham a couple of years ago, and is now part of the Birmingham Centre for Railway Research and Education, where I'm a director. By changing the business model, we actually now have over 800 members, of which just over 90% of those are SMEs. And we've really brought out a focus on research, development and innovation and skills and training, in addition to the networking and engagement opportunities that we offer as a rail cluster. And as you'd imagine, as a university group, the research aspect and innovation aspect are particularly strong for us, and one where we can provide real value to our members. I don't want to go into much detail on the context of railway in the UK at the moment. Just to say, though, that we're in a period of transition in so many ways here in the UK. But from a rail perspective, the franchising system has just collapsed. And we are in the process of transitioning to a new form for providing train operating companies with deals to provide services to passengers in the UK. So more will become clear over the course of the next year or two. Obviously, a major project in the UK is High Speed 2, and a big part of the work we're doing at the Rail Alliance is to introduce SMEs to the range of offerings and opportunities that are available as part of this major new infrastructure project that will be building a high-speed rail line through the spine of the UK over the next decade. But sorry, I've jumped on, but I'll carry on. I wanted to focus in though on three key technologies, three key challenges for the rail industry. And those three are digitalization, decarbonisation and innovation. And to start off with digitalisation, just a reminder from a quote from the European Parliament on what digitalisation actually incorporates. And it's the application of digital technologies and the systems we put around them in order to derive value from them. And digitalisation is key to the rail industry. And my colleagues and predecessors have already talked a lot about this in great detail. But as a reminder, the real value to come out of that is both in terms of the demand side, in terms of improving the situation for the customers of the railway, the passengers and freight companies, as well as for the supply industry, the supply side as well, in terms of increasing efficiency, reducing costs, and providing improved services. And those really come down to four main technologies that are being introduced to the railway. And we at the University of Birmingham are very much focused on all four of these and helping our SME companies in our cluster to take advantage of them. So there's the Internet of Things, there's cloud computing, there's big data and data analytics, and finally there's automation and robotics. And each of those, if rail can harness them, can play a major part in providing real value, increased value to the railway. And just to pick out one of those, in terms of data analytics, I think we all are very much aware of the opportunity that the collation, management and analysis of data provides us with the means of not just understanding how the railway is operating in the present, but allowing us to then use artificial intelligence to predict when we're going to see problems arise on the railway. And my hypothesis here, as you can see, is very much around how digitalization, the increasing penetration of digitalization, will bring major opportunities. But to get those opportunities, the railway needs to be open-minded and embrace innovation and embrace those opportunities as they arise. So for decarbonisation, I think we all know these statistics. I've used ones from the International Energy Association. In terms of rail's share of global emissions is low, anyway at 0.3%, but it's especially low when you consider the amount of journeys that the railway provides relative to those emissions. And so we can say with very confidently that rail is the most energy efficient form of powered transport. And where we come into play in the cluster is how do we actually support that decarbonisation agenda? How do we help phase out the use of diesel? How do we improve energy efficiency, both of rolling stock and of infrastructure? And how can we develop the solutions and get them onto the railway more effectively? And one project I want to highlight to you is the Hydroflex project that we at the Rail Alliance with the University of Birmingham and our industrial partner Portuguese built the UK's first hydrogen train, which is running on the mainline railway now in trials in less than 2 years. And that was a great example of bringing together academia and industry to drive forward a headline project rapidly, to take out a lot of the risk and to introduce the supply chain and supply chain opportunities into that project. And so we've brought about not just the acceleration of a project in terms of a new operating hydrogen train, but have introduced a huge number of potential suppliers from other industries into rail to provide green hydrogen, hydrogen refueling systems, all of that kind of opportunity. And that leads me to my conclusion, which is around innovation and why do we innovate? Why do we need to innovate and what can we get out of it? And it's really around solving those challenges like decarbonisation, as well as using new technologies from digital technologies with digitalisation in order to drive those improvements, those efficiencies in the railway and to meet the needs of customers. Because remember, these customers will also be using cars and planes, and they will see technologies being deployed in those industries, and we can't be seen to be backwards as the rail sector. We need to be addressing digitalization and decarbonisation head on, and innovation is central to achieving that. So on that note, I'd like to say thank you very much. Apologies for being brief, but I hope that was helpful. Thank you.
It was indeed, Alexander, it was helpful. Thank you very much. Anyway, I think that we were impressed with your presentation, and I'm sure that a lot of questions would come if we are not short on time. So I think that anyway, we will have some time for questions. I think that we have to reduce to 5 minutes, if it's okay, Paulo. At least we have one question from the audience. We have a few questions, but anyway, I will select one. Is a question for Angeles. What is currently happening with regards to vibration sensor monitoring on the trains in Spain? I'm sure this will take another more 20 minutes to explain, but if you can be brief in replying to this question, I will ask again. What is currently, if you know what is currently happening with regards to vibration sensor monitoring on the trains in Spain?
Well, in Spain, the vision of the currently into railways, I explained in the presentation, is the innovation is about the minister, but all the minister is connecting to develop the agenda about the future of the railways. In this moment is a very important moment for the Minister of Transport and Mobility, because we are in the process about Spanish mobility strategy. And this process is all time the Minister for Transport push the activity, but the call to promote the national innovation is in the Minister of R&D. And just the PTF work together with the different minister for have a very good vision, because also they have the Ministry of Agenda, and they have a different call also for the industry. And we try with the PTF to connect the different administration to respond all the key agents in the railway.
Thank you very much, Angeles. So we have a few more questions from the audience, but I think they are too much in detail, so maybe we can skip them. I was especially impressed by the two main words: the collaboration that Veronica shared with us, and also innovation. And the major part of you spoke about both very strongly. And I was also impressed by the open innovation community concept that I would like to ask you more. So I think that in order to finish, maybe I will give you 2 minutes, any of you, all of you, to say something about, to elaborate something about what can be done in the future to stronger our cooperation, our collaboration, and a global collaboration, and open innovation community. If this is okay with you, I will start maybe with Dirk Kruger. Is it okay with you? If you, in 2 minutes, you can briefly give us a bit what is your concept for the future in these terms? What can we do in the future?
Sorry, can
well, yes.
Shorter, because
sorry.
at 11 we need to start the second panel, so it needs to really fast, please.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Okay, I sum up quickly. I'm a believer that we need to strengthen the European approach, European community, in terms of the outside look to Europe. But on the other hand, we need to keep up our regional diversities and the creativity that comes out of local activities, of bilateral activities, and those type of things. But what we definitely need to do is connect more stronger the different actors across national borders, across countries in Europe, but also across industries. So to speed up the creativity. And as my predecessor, Jean Verrier, described it, our role is being the catalyst in a chemical reaction. So this is what we need to do. We need to speed up the chemical reaction of innovation, of delivering new value, of delivering new business activities, and then eventually this will lead to a better world for all of us. And so to have a very broad picture, but and this is it, and that's what we can do, as simple as this. but as complicated as this as well.
Okay, thank you very much. So I just 2 minutes from you. Angeles, do you want to share also your concept about the cooperation? What can we do more in collaboration and innovation, collaborative innovation in the future? In 2 minutes, please be short, because Paul is already
sorry, João, we don't have 2 minutes. It's 10:57. We have 3 minutes to finish the show and pass our sponsors. So
anyway,
sorry to interrupt. In fact, yes, we can do a closing for each one of you, but please, just a short sentence, because definitely we have the minister timetable that is pushing us to attend. Sorry.
Okay.
So, Angeles, your point of view, please. A final remark.
About open innovation?
No, just about the panel itself.
We are very glad for this debate. We need more time. It's very interesting. I like you explain another experience, but thank you for this opportunity. The PTF is open for the PFP for all the Portuguese company and agent. We like to continue to collaboration and to help or maybe have the collaboration from the Portuguese company. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Definitely, we will do it in Iberia point of view.
Veronica, you want to share also one final sentence with us?
Yes, please. My final challenge is that I think that we have now as cluster managers to enable our members to make full use of European collaboration as we are doing as clusters, because they knew how, together with us, to engage with the other clusters from other countries and regions, but also through the extra cluster exchange scheme, they can now go on their own 2 feet. This is what we need to do, to offer them these kind of opportunities, because our time as cluster manager is limited. And if we want to have more impact, we have to enable each of our members to fully benefit from what we built for them. But they have to do that on their own. Yeah.
Thank you, Veronica. Ignasi, same question.
I think it's open. Thank you very much. I think to add something else, I think first of all we need to, of course, concentrate on giving the citizens a much better access to mobility altogether. And this is something that by means of the clusters and the clusters centered towards a technological cooperation is something that we can do it all across Europe. So cooperating in technological terms is key.
Thank you very much, Ignasi.
Alexander? Sorry. Helmut?
The rail industry absolutely must embrace innovation to take forward and address these challenges that everyone else has mentioned.
Thank you very much. So, Paulo, I think that we can close the panel. I'm sorry to be not such a good moderator. I give you too much time, but I think at the end, I think it was very useful for the people that were listening to us, to you. And thank you for inviting me. And from my side, thank you very much.
We thank you all, and we will do a short break for our sponsors presentation, and we'll be just right back. Thank you.
Thank you very much.